my little creative sparks. Welcome to another episode of the Live Your Art Life podcast. My name is Danny, and I help artists to attract passionate fans online and start making money from their art while embracing what makes them unique and special so that they can build a life and freedom that they love. But before we get started, I just wanted to tell you about something super awesome that just might be the secret weapon for growing your art biz that you've been waiting for. I wanted to tell you about my brand new, totally free training, How to Make Your Art Stand Out Online. This free training is filled with all sorts of goodness. It's the perfect online class for beginner artists that are filled with a fiery creative passion and want to grow an audience online that actually wants to buy their artwork, and without wasting precious time that you could spend painting instead. You can sign up for this free training today and get instant access by going to liveyourartlife.com/standoutart. That's STANDOUTART. Go sign up. So I can talk and do talk until I am blue in the face about one particular topic when it comes to artist success. Your artist story. Why you need one, how to tell it, how to find out what it is, all that jazz. And yet, over and over again, I see the same objections from my students. I don't really think I have an artist story. And to that, I say, darling, you have a powerfully radiant artist story. It's just hiding just under the surface. You just need to reach in and find it. Yes, it can take a bit of work. Yes, it can make you feel kind of vulnerable. It might even stir up some uncomfortable or painful emotions. But that's okay. That is the power that you hold. Your artist story is one of the key components that you need to stand out among the ocean of other artists out there. And thankfully, you get to choose what it is. Now, before we jump into the meat and potatoes of things, I just want to do a quick disclaimer here. Basically about what I call your story versus your artist's story. The way I see it, these are one and the same. You just have to change the lens in which you look at them. I know you live for art and creativity. It makes you feel alive. You want to breathe it into every single dang day. Art is part of you. And because of that, your personal story, the story of you as a human walking this crazy earth, is also your artist story. Because it all feeds into that beautiful tapestry that is you. And art is a big, huge part of that tapestry. Your life story, the one that's still being written every single day, it feeds into everything you do as an artist. It influences what you create, how you talk about your creations, how you put it out into the world. It affects who you want to share it with and how you share it. That's why these questions that we're about to dig into the realm of your life, is not just about art. It's about everything. All good? Let's jump in. All right. So we're going to dig in deep here with some questions, so grab something that makes you feel cozy and snuggle in. Let's start with easy mode, something with a little less inner work. So the first question that you can ask yourself is, what do you feel yourself drawn to? Now, this doesn't have to be the art styles you like or the paintings that you find yourself drooling over for other artists. This can also be shows, movies, books, vacations, hairstyles, colors, relationships, all of that stuff. Pick one thing and let's break it down. I'll use myself as an example here. I freaking love tea. I drink several mugs per day, huge range of flavors and types. People in my life associate tea now with me, so gifts are often extremely tasty. So why do I love tea? How on earth does this squeeze into my story? Well, let's take it back a little bit. So I started drinking tea when I was younger and when I was pretty lost, really. I was in that awkward phase of life where you just feel unshapen. I was craving direction in life, and I wanted to know who I was. There was this girl in my class that was always drinking tea. She seemed so put together. Conversations always flowed easily from her, and her smile had this lazy, I'm a natural at everything I do vibe. Obviously, I wanted that. And my mind at the time took the easiest route, as nature usually does, and thought, aha, tea, that must be the answer to her earthiness. I wish I could be more like her in that way. I know, it's so silly looking back at that, but hey, our minds can be silly. So either way, I started drinking tea and naturally I fell in love. Obviously, it didn't turn me into her, but in that effort to become more grounded and earthy, I fell in love with something that still brings me a bucket load of joy every single day. Tea is part of my artist story now because it shows that I value being grounded, which I now see shows itself in the way that I talk about my work and the stories behind my paintings. Hell, I've even made art with tea. So ask yourself what you feel drawn to and how does it feed into your artist story? So the second question you can ask yourself is, why did you create your latest painting? This exercise can be expanded to more pieces, but let's just focus on the most recent one for now. It doesn't matter what it is. Imagine your latest painting was an oil painting study you did of, say, an Arctic fox. Why did you choose to create that art? Well, I think they're adorable with their little squishy faces and smug grins. I love animals. They're beautiful, and I want to share that beauty with the world. But why did I choose to do a basic study, straight from the reference photo, without any of my usual artistic flares? Well, at the time, I was feeling a bit burnt out from working on a big art collection that demanded a lot of my creative energy. I desperately needed to paint to soothe my mind, and the straightforward, put this brushstroke here aspect of a study was the balm that my artist soul needed, frankly. Plus, I also wanted to create a beautiful new painting for the students inside my painting program that teaches them how to paint realistic wildlife. I wanted to deliver something packed with all that juicy value that they were craving. And I have a shocking amount of students requesting a tutorial for an Arctic fox, so that led into why I chose that particular subject. So let's break that down. I'm inspired by animals, which definitely started by growing up surrounded by nature and wildlife, hence why I paint animals. I use art as a form of personal therapy because it brings me joy when I'm drained or in pain, and I want to show others that they too can find joy within those brushstrokes as well. I also live to teach. The amount of joy that fills my heart when I can help others improve their art while having fun in the process seriously lights me up. See how that one oil painting of an Arctic fox study illuminated so much about myself as an artist? All right, so a third question that you can ask yourself to get clear on your artist story is, what do you believe in? We're getting a bit deeper now. We all believe in something, and there's a good chance that, again, it feeds into your artwork and your artist story. Are you passionate about saving the rainforest? And because of this, maybe you only use ethically sourced, earth-friendly materials in your artwork. Maybe your dream is to end poverty on this planet, so you run promotions on your artwork and send the proceeds to families that need that life-changing money. Perhaps you went through a tragedy in your own personal life, and your art is created in an effort to heal those wounds. And a conversation with someone about your paintings made you realize that your brushstrokes can have healing powers for others too that went through a similar tragedy. Your beliefs are powerful, and they manifest themselves into your everyday life, naturally weaving themselves into your artist story. All right, so hopefully these questions helped a bit. I know they only scratch the surface on what your artist story is, but I understand that extracting it can be a tricky process. painful even. I know mine was. But once I got clear on my artist story and started sharing it with the world, everything changed. So hopefully these 3 questions allows you to flex those story extracting muscles and you are well on your way to stepping into your spotlight. And that brings us to the end of this episode. Alrighty folks, I will see you in the next episode of the Live Your Art Life podcast. If you found this episode super helpful, then I would love to see you leave a 5-star review. These reviews help us get in front of even more artists who can hugely benefit from these messages. Alrighty, see you next time. Stay magical, friends.